everybody, and welcome to show number 2 of 2020 for Off Track TV. Along with Dan Kapazinski, I'm the voice, Shane Andrews, as we say welcome from our studio here in Weedsport, New York. Dan, what a show we have tonight.
I know. More. Episode 2. We're starting, really moving on with this 2020 season here at our new studio for Off Track TV Live. Shane, we've got a lot on tap today. We've got recaps from the Indoor Auto Racing Championship. We've got a special guest coming up a little bit later on. Lots to talk about in a 30-minute period.
We sure do. And as we always do, we encourage everybody to get a hold of us. As at the end of the show, we like to take your questions, talk about racing, whatever's on your mind, let us know. info@weedsportproductions.com, or you can hit us on Twitter. I'm at NYVoice13. Dan?
Yeah, I'm at Dan_Kapasinski on Twitter, so send us a question. We'll get that answered for you at the end of the show. And, of course, if you've seen earlier on, we've got Chris Heil in as a special guest. If you have a question for Chris, feel free to send that in as well.
Absolutely. Nothing's off limits. We'll talk about anything. At the end of the show, Dan's going to rip up his script just to prove a point. What it is, right. I don't know, but we will figure that out. Well, Dan, you know, there was some racing going on this past week that you went down to. The Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City, New Jersey, the Gamblers Classic, put on by Len Salmons Motorsports Productions. Always a great show. I've been down there myself. It is a great venue. It's a great event. What was the vibe this past weekend?
I actually remember being there this time.
Ah, fantastic.
I was a little preoccupied with some other stuff going on. But, yeah, always Lenny and the crew down there in Atlantic City, the Boardwalk Hall, one of the biggest races you're going to go to all year long. It just happens to be in the month of January. 3 days of action, practice on Thursday, all the way through the main event on Saturday night. There were probably close to 150 race cars in that Boardwalk Hall for 3 divisions of action. It was a fantastic weekend.
And if you're not familiar with the Boardwalk Hall, that has been home to many concerts. Also hosted the Miss America pageant for a number of years. But during the winter, in the month of January in particular, it hosts indoor racing. And speaking of that, let's take a look at some of the racing action. We're going to start out with the Champ Carts. The green flag flies, and right off the bat, what happens? Who is that?
I know that clown.
That's not you, is it?
Yeah, it's me.
You started 7th.
I wasn't used to starting that far towards the front. I had to go to the back and do it the way I normally do.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye and see on how you do. But you started 7th, a little incident there. But these Champ Carts, they are flat-footing it all the way around this Boardwalk Hall. They never lift.
No, 9.5-second lap times for these guys on this concrete surface. Very fast. Shane, as you mentioned, there were 49 champs in attendance. They only started 24 in the A main. So there were more guys that went home than started this 25-lap feature.
And as you can see, the racing action is fast and furious. Here we've got a couple of drivers, Doug Sturley, Cameron Carter, Tyler Brown, Cale Ross, all doing battle as we look for Dan. You're making your way back up to the front.
Yeah, well, we ended up passing about a car every other lap, went from 24th to 12th before we ran out of laps. But the guy in the move up front was a 71. That's Doug Sturley there in the second spot right now. He's the defending champion of this event, and that car was certainly rolling. He started all the way back in the 15th position and was battling for the lead before halfway. 2
distinct grooves to use, and the low side of the speedway is the preferred line for these Champ Carts. You can see with the move right there on the inside in 3 and 4.
It is, but the track crews did a great job all weekend long in practice and time trials. They had the inside tires moved way out on the racetrack, so we did have a second lane, but the bottom side was where you want to be when it comes feature time.
This is a 25-lap feature event, and it goes awfully quick.
Yeah, it sure does. You see the 98 there of Tyler Brown. He is the points leader coming into this event, Atlantic City. He had to battle his way up to the 3rd spot after falling back early on, but it was all Doug Sturley at the end of 25 laps. 2-time winner now for the Gamblers Classic in Atlantic City.
To put your name in the record books as a winner at the Boardwalk Hall once is impressive, but to do it twice is quite an accomplishment as Doug Sturley picks up the win for the 25-lap Champ Cart feature. Cameron Carter 2nd, Tyler Brown 3rd, Cale Ross and Todd Crenshaw, and as we mentioned, our own Danny Kay finishing in position number 12. When is your next Champ Cart race?
Our next event will be March 14th and 15th, actually right here in Central New York. We'll be back at the State Fairgrounds, the Expo Center, for the final round of the indoor series.
Well, the division everybody comes to see at the Boardwalk Hall is the TQ Midgets, and you talk about a show. When you put this many TQs on a track like the Boardwalk Hall, something's going to happen. 40 laps, 26 starters as the field gets the green.
Tyler Thompson, who actually was our first guest of the season, started on pole position, but the straight shooter Scott Kruder ended up backwards here on the back straightaway. He was a qualifying winner on Friday, but got a rough go here in the start of this one.
Kruder would come back to finish in position number 22, but the guy on the move, he started in position number 5, took the lead on lap number 2. That's Andy Jankowiak.
Yep, just like Doug Sturley was looking for his second consecutive win in this event. Tyler Thompson, Tim Buckwalter coming together here between turns 3 and 4, so a tough break for TNT. He had to go to the rear.
On the restart, Andy J once again puts it up in front. He has Eric Rudolph and Tim Buckwalter right there. Anthony Payne, a former preliminary night winner, also making his presence known.
Yeah, it's getting better and better. Obviously, he won at Albany there a couple of years ago, but he's becoming much more consistent in these machines. Was running again very well all weekend long. As you get a look back here at Kyle Lick in the 8 machine, Michael Barnes, super modified competitor in the 97, running up there, as well as Tyler Thompson got all the way back up to his teammate, ended up on the inside of the tires there again in turn 4, but he would rebound for a top 10 finish.
Yes, he would come back and finish in position number 8, but everybody's still chasing Andy Jankowiak, and if you come in here with a straight front bumper, you're going to leave with a crooked front bumper because there's a lot of beat and bait.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's like, the old adage of firefighters in a gymnasium. And these guys are flying around so quick, it's hard not to make contact with the other guys around you.
A great night of racing and trouble right here. A couple of more cars caught up in this skirmish, taking out the number 51.
Yeah, Sean Nye, that 51 machine, has been running really good in this series. He had a top finish in Allentown and unfortunately ended up the wrong way there in this one.
When things were all said and done, Andy Jankowiak comes out of the boardwalk call unscathed, 2 in a row for Andy J.
Andy J just flying right now. He ran really well at Allentown as well, looking to get a series championship. He was oh so close to that last year, but once again proving he was the man to beat down in Atlantic City.
Andy J picks up the win. Tim Buckwalter finishes in position number 2. Eric Rudolph 3rd. Matt Janish 4th. And Briggs Danner comes home in 5th. And a couple of guys we got to give a shout out to. How about Jonathan Reed, sportsman driver, coming home in 10th, and Ryan Bartlett, modified driver on the dirt car circuit, coming home 17th.
Yeah, one thing Shane and I were talking about before we came on today is just the diversity in the drivers that take part in these TQ races. Asphalt drivers, dirt drivers, kart racers making the jump up. It's always a melting pot of competitors down at AC.
And that's one of the dynamics that I really like about it, because some of these guys you don't get to see up here in the Northeast, at least in our tracks. But then you get to go to Atlantic City. You get to see them in a different division. And everybody's on equal footing.
That's the big thing. It usually really is a level playing field for the most part because track conditions change so much. These guys, most of them do not run TQ midgets on a weekly basis, so everybody's kind of starting from scratch once they get back in these fields.
It's cool to see Anthony Cecily, who is a pavement modified driver, battling with Eric Rudolph, who's a dirt car modified driver, and the diversity. And then you get the guys that do focus on the TQs, like Anthony Payne, his dad, the Jersey Jet, Joey. So a nice diversity, bringing it together, and it makes for some great racing.
It really is. It's basically a series of champions at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And we've got a special guest coming up here in just a moment. He is known, if he was a professional wrestler, he'd be known as the Heil driver, because he's going to drop that elbow on the competition this year. Coming up, Chris Heil, the driver of the number 5H. He's got some big news that I think he's going to share with us in just a moment.
That's right, Shane. Looking forward to it.
Chris Heil, the driver of the number 5H, will be with us right here in studio when we return to Off Track TV.
Weedsport Speedway is home of the fastest cars and biggest stars. With over $1 million in recent upgrades, our fans know this is the premier race destination in the Northeast. The fan experience is at the forefront of everything we do. LED light shows, luxury suites, premium stadium seating, and a 27-foot HD video display to engage and entertain fans. And by the way, our fans? Yeah, our fans kick ass. They are committed and loyal. They bring their families to races. They consistently engage with us over social media, on our website, and tune into our incredible productions airing on national TV and streaming online. This year features an exciting season of events. It's a blast to go fast. Want to talk to a growing audience and next-generation fans? Customized sponsorship opportunities make it super easy. We have event sponsorships, product sponsorships, digital billboards, web, social, digital ads, race day displays and signage, booths and promotions. Video opportunities both in venue, on national TV, and streaming online. The drivers, the excitement, the speed. The Portburgers are why fans show up. At Weedsport Speedway, our venue and production are the reason they keep coming back. Be a part of the best season yet.
Weedsport Productions is the live video production company that you need at your next event. Our mobile production truck is outfitted with the most advanced broadcast equipment in the industry. Weedsport Productions covers racing, live sporting events, corporate events, and concerts. We can broadcast your event live, stream it to the internet, or produce an exciting in-venue experience for your audience. Visit weedsportproductions.com now to learn more.
It's Florida in February. Beaches, palm trees, racing. Kick off 2020 with the Dirt Car Nationals, presented by Bozard Ford at Volusia Speedway Park, the world's fastest half mile. See 12 nights of World of Outlaws, NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, and Morton Buildings late models, plus Dirt Car Modifieds. February 4th through the 15th. Custom ticket packages, camping, and all new grandstands. Who will take home the Gator? Be there to find out. Tickets at dirtcarnationals.com. World of Outlaws, Dirt Car Modifieds. Be there.
Welcome back to Off Track TV here from our studio in Weedsport, New York. I'm the voice Shane Andrews along with Dan Kapazinski, and joining us a very special guest from Oswego, New York, the driver of the number 5H, the Heil driver, Chris Heil. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. This is pretty exciting.
Well, it is exciting because 2020, the racing season, is just around the corner, and some big news out of the Heil Racing Camp. You're jumping out on the Super Dirt Car Series this year.
Yeah, this has been something that we've kind of, had in the works for quite a few years now. We've got our equipment and things to the level to where we need to have it, and we're really excited for it. Like you said, here it is. It's, it's only February, but we're breaking some big news, and been doing a lot of work in the shop and things like that. So it's going to be a tough schedule. It's definitely different for us, something that we're really looking forward to, though.
The competition continues to climb on the Super Dirt Car Series. A lot of guys that, in essence are professional drivers anymore these days, but you're one of the top sort of independents on the scene right now. You talk about the process of building your equipment to get to this point. What's that been like?
It's just been it's been 16 years now for us.
Wow.
It's been a long time, that we've been doing this racing deal, and it's just, massing up the parts and, getting your equipment to where it needs to be. And really, to go out on the road, you got to be prepared, not only with your cars, but, even things like the trailer. Sure. Everything it's just a big culmination of what you got to have to really go on the road and, kind of flex your muscle and do it right. I think it's a big telltale to our weekly stuff. The tracks that we run at weekly just have such great competition and fantastic, supporters from everybody, all our sponsors and things like that allow us to get out here and really just kind of spread our wings and hopefully we can keep everything clean and green. And I think we'll have a lot of fun. Great.
Chris Heil joining us here on Off Track TV. Chris going out on the tour for the first time with the race team as a driver in 2020. There's probably a few tracks that you've never been to that you are actually raced at. What are those tracks that you're looking forward to getting to for the first time as a driver?
Honestly, getting to any new surface to me is very exciting. I think the more, different surfaces that you can see as a driver is only going to help you in the long run, whether you're running weekly or whether you're on the series. To get that experience on different types of surfaces, different track layouts really gives you the ability to, more so fine-tune your car and be able to say, if it worked at this track, let's see if we can maybe apply it to another track and a different surface. So I think it just helps you more so round yourself as a driver overall to adapt to those different situations and to just make yourself, like I said, just a better driver overall.
I mean, what do you see being the biggest challenge? I mean, is it going to be going to those facilities for the first time, or like you said, just getting yourself up and down the road and being a part of the grind?
Yeah, I think once we get to the track, I don't think it's so much of an issue. I think we've done a good job over the past few years. We got a lot of, fantastic supporters and sponsors that really help us get to the place that we need to be. As far as on-track presence and performance-wise, I think our biggest thing is going to just be the logistics of it, really getting used to, what it's going to be like to be out on the road a couple days, run back home quick and get some work done, and then try to get the cars turned around. Meanwhile, while we're trying to run a business and do things like that. So I think just the logistics of it, I think on our end are going to be the hardest part, and that's going to be the biggest thing that we need to adapt to, as a family. But I think once we kind of get those kinks worked out, I think we'll be pretty well with it.
Right. Speaking of the family, it is a family operation. Your mom, your dad, your brother, your wife, Caitlin, all out on the road, and it adds an element that it gives you some a comfortable atmosphere to be in, especially when you're going to be going up to tracks in Quebec that are 5-6 hours from home now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to be able to have that kind of support behind me is huge. For these guys to go out on a whim like they have, for my wife to step down this year and allow me to have a spare car basically again this year is fantastic. And we've just always been, a group that says if we're going to do something, let's try to do it right. We might not be able to do it right off the bat. Like I said, this thing was something that we've been working on for years, but boy, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Nothing says I love you like giving up a race car.
I had to do it initially, and now I got it back. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, you mentioned, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it right. And, I've been following you for a long time. You move up to the modified ranks, you do the weekly thing. But then last year, it seemed like you were hitting more of these local Super Dirt Series shows, but not just showing up, competing very well, running well here at Weedsport. Nice top 10 finish at Oswego Super Dirt Week. So just feels like the momentum, it had to be the time to do it if you were going to try to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I think it's just something that it's taken us a little time to really get our feet in the water and say, you know what, we're comfortable here. We can do this. And, I think it built a lot of confidence, for me behind the wheel as well, to show up to different races. Like you say, we come here to Weedsport every time, and it's, basically a series race. We traveled to Orange County Centennial Weekend. We did really well. So I think once you get that momentum rolling, it really shows you the effort and time that, not only myself, but my family and everybody that supports us it's really paid off. The work we've done in the shop has paid off, and I really hope, like I said, it can translate to some success on the series.
I was going to say, I would say it's a testament to your base program. You can go to these different racetracks and start well and unload well.
Yep.
You guys are on the right foot.
Yeah, I mean, that's half the battle. If you can unload out of the box and you're within range, then that's just something that you can kind of dial in, tweak on, and make that night better for you. Obviously we're always looking for a little bit of luck here and there as drivers, but we do what we can on our end to make sure that everything is how it should be, and then we just kind of let the cards fall in place.
If memory serves correct, second place last year, Brewerton Speedway in that Super Dirt Series race. You knocking on the door and almost kicked it in.
Yeah, we were really close. Matt Williamson's a great friend of mine, and it was a lot of fun. If I'm going to have to run to second, to somebody, I guess it's him. But I was kicking myself a little bit. I was, could have used up a little more car, I think, earlier, and if it was 105 laps, I think we would have been having a little different discussion right here. But we'll take it. And like I said, it's just something that we built on and just kind of kept going as the year went on. And, we turned it into Oswego and all these different things. We ran well. And we're super excited, to say the least, for next year. And we've been working hard at it.
Sorry, Shane. I was just going to say, is the Friday night plan still Brewerton Speedway?
Yep. We're still going to do the Friday nights at Brewerton. I think it's, very integral to have a Friday night home, or at least a weekly home with the modified stuff. Right now with the way we're changing suspensions and things like that, I think it's very important for us to have that track time, more so as testing than anything else. And then, like I said, we'll kind of incorporate that into onto the series and having these different surfaces and things like that. But, we have great people that help us, Penske Shocks and iBox Springs. These guys, they all get me set up on the right way and the right plan to get there. So it makes it a heck of a lot easier for us when we unload.
And of course, going out on the road, going to some places that you've never been to, you're racing against the best drivers in the big block modified ranks. It can only help your weekly program.
100%. And we've always said that, if you can surround yourself with great competition, granted, from day one, you might not be the guy that's knocking on the door, but if you can absorb these things that everyone else around you is doing and get better, it's only going to help your program out as a whole. So we're excited for it. We're friends with a lot of these, series guys as it is. So, not only are we going to try to be fierce on the track, but we're pretty excited for the after race activities and fun like that.
Right.
I see it as a good
camaraderie.
whole.
That's what I was going to say. It seems like it's a good group.
Yeah,
you know?
it's a
and
fantastic.
they're gonna. I got a feeling that there's gonna be a lot of people in your corner that are excited to see you making this move.
Yeah, we hope to have that. We try to always aim to be up front with everybody and try to help out anybody that needs to be helped at that moment in time. So we're excited for it. Like I said, I'm pumped. It's been a dream of mine for basically my whole life to run this modified deal, and like I say, I speak for my family too. We're all really pumped to do it.
Excellent.
So I'm curious, as you have evolved and your family has evolved in racing, I remember here at the Weedsport Speedway many moons ago that you and your brother Rob used to take turns driving the sportsman car.
Right.
How did it ever become determined that you would be the driver and Rob would be the wrench?
We just kind of, it just almost flowed into it. When we would race, it was always my call on what we did with the car as far as setup and things like that. And Rob would just say, that sounds pretty good. Let's toss that in my car and see how it goes too. And, I think 2007 for us was a big breakout year in our sportsman career. And, we did big things on the Sportsman Series. We finished second that year. And I think at that point, Rob kind of said, you know what, I'm going to step back a little bit and see, what we can do as a whole, as a team. And, I owe a lot to him for doing that as well, because it allowed me to use what we had for resources. It might not have been a whole lot back then, but I got to use every bit of what we had, and we did a lot with it. So
I was going to say, your story is probably the textbook modified driver story that a lot of people in the dirt car world would like to see. You know, the family guy that makes good, that moves on. You're going on to the Super Dirt Car Series now, kind of moving up the ladder. Who do you look down and see that reminds you of Chris Heil?
Wow, that's something you throw at me all at once. It's hard to say. There's a lot of great upcoming talent. One of the people on the series right now that really, really impresses me already is Demetrius Drelos.
Sure.
That's fantastic. I spoke to him at the end of the year at Charlotte about him going to different tracks to try to learn how to what we call float a car.
Yep.
And just the way he carries himself, they're the same essence, family team that's ran like that. And I think, him winning that series race at Albany, Saratoga, and, not only that, he comes to Weedsport week in and week out when we run, and he's just as fast. So, tip of the hat to those guys. They do fantastic too. So I expect to see big things out of him in the future. And like I said, it's somebody that I kind of hold as a peer to me right now.
Excellent.
Well, we look forward to seeing great things out of you as well with the number 5H. Chris Heil going to be out on the Super Dirt Car Series in 2020, signing on as one of the premier drivers. Also find him at the Brewerton Speedway. You can also find him right here at the Weedsport Speedway. Chris, thanks for coming out and joining us here today. Great to see you, and congratulations, and look forward to seeing you out on the road.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Good luck, Chris.
Thanks.
Chris Heil, driver of the number 5H. When we return, we're going to take your questions.
It's Florida in February. Beaches, palm trees, racing. Kickoff 2020 with the Dirt Car Nationals. Presented by Bozard Ford at Volusia Speedway Park, the world's fastest half mile. See 12 nights of World of Outlaws, NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, and Morton Buildings late models, plus Dirt Car Modifieds. February 4th through the 15th. Custom ticket packages, camping, and all new grandstands. Who will take home the Gator? Be there to find out. Tickets at DirtCarNationals.com. World of Outlaws, Dirt Car Modifieds. Be there.
Weedsport Productions is the live video production company that you need at your next event. Our mobile production truck is outfitted with the most advanced broadcast equipment in the industry. Weedsport Productions covers racing, live sporting events, corporate events, and concerts. We can broadcast your event live, stream it to the internet, or produce an exciting in-venue experience for your audience. Visit weedsportproductions.com now to learn more.
Welcome back to the Weedsport Speedway Off Track TV. Dan, great to catch up with Chris. What a great guy, great family, and really look forward to seeing some great things from him this year. And, you know, he runs so good here at the Weedsport Speedway in those Super Dirt Series races. We knew it was only a matter of time before we saw him out on the road.
Well, that's for sure. All the way back to the Sportsman days. You know, and like we said, it's the perfect story that you want to see of a family team making good, going out on the road, and doing big things. It's also a testament, like Chris said, to the weekly competition we have in this area, not only Weedsport Speedway, but at Brewerton Speedway, Fulton Speedway, all the racetracks around this area, that we have so many guys that have started out in the sportsman ranks that can go on and run at that caliber with the big professional drivers on the Super Dirt Series.
Well, you ready for a couple of questions?
Yes.
All right.
Let's
We've got our first question here, and it just ironically comes from somebody, Heil 5H fan. Okay, I don't know who that came from, but they want to know, who do you guys like to see in Victory Lane down in Florida at the Dirt Car Nationals for the sprints, late models, and modifieds?
Oh, man.
Woo!
Well, sprints are starting tonight. The All-Stars, Brad Sweet is going to be tough to beat. He's hard to top any of these places he goes to. I'd like to think, though, that Donnie Schatz may have a little something for him. Exciting also to see the Steel City Outlaw, Tim Schaefer, is driving for Tony Stewart. So there's going to be all kinds of action on the sprint car side.
I don't think you can, on the sprint car side, I don't think you can count out Donnie Schatz. I wouldn't even count out Darren Pittman. He's a multiple-time champion down there at the Dirt Car Nationals. And how about David Gravel? He's got that ARCA ride, but he's going to be focusing a lot on the World of Outlaws sprint cars this year, so I think that he has a good chance as well.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Let's jump over to the late models. I mean, you're looking at 70, 80 late models coming into town, and I think one of the guys to keep an eye on with the late models this year is going to be Chris Madden, teaming up with Scott Bloomquist.
That's
on
right.
the Outlaw Tour.
Yeah, they're going on the Outlaw Tour, but Brandon Shepard's been so tough, and it's one of those deals where we talk about all the time. The Matt Shepards, the Eric Rudolphs, the Matt Williamsons, when these guys get on a roll, it can be tough to knock them off. And Brandon's been one of the best to beat as of late.
Hey, if we're talking late models, we got to give a shout out to Tim McCready out of Watertown, New York, picking up the first win of the season on the Lucas Oil Late Model Tour. So T-Mac already off to a blazing start, and also a top 5 finish for him just the other night as well.
It's always good to get started off on the right foot, and T-Mac's definitely on that route.
And he does run good at Volusia, so don't be surprised if you do see that Longhorn 39 in Victory Lane during the Dirt Car Nationals.
Yes, no doubt.
Well, let's shift gears to the modifieds, because the big blocks will be taking center stage down there as well, and there's some great competition coming down to Volusia. Who you liking?
Well, Jimmy, I'll tell you, our boss, Jimmy Phelps, I'm not just trying to make him feel good, but, you know, he went down to Charlotte after making the change to Bicknell. He's never won a feature at Volusia, I don't believe.
Correct.
He's on a roll right now, and I'd like to see Jimmy, you know, kind of get started off in 2020 on the right foot.
I think he has a very good chance down there with the 98H. Another guy to keep your eye on, Billy Pouch down there in the number 1. Peter Britton, Brett Hearn, even though he's running a limited schedule. But don't count out the defending Gator champion, Larry White.
Yes.
Always good at Volusia. That track just seems to fit his driving style so well. Up on the high side, on the gas, you go as fast as you can for as long as you can.
Right, I was going to say, it seems like lately the track conditions have been in Larry's favor. You know, hammer down on the top side. Stuart Friesen is going to be in town for a few of the shows. He's not going to make all 5. He was a winner, obviously, down there at Florida last year. It's just heavy hitters top to bottom. We didn't even talk about Matt Shepard or Eric Rudolph or Matt Williamson and those guys. It's always fun to watch the big block modifieds down in Florida. It's
going to be great. Florida in February. It's only a few days away for, well, one of us.
Thanks, Shane.
You're welcome. I plan on coming back with a nice tan.
I'll watch you online.
I look forward to that. Thank you. I'll say hello. Hey, while we got a few minutes here, let's talk about what's coming up here at the Weedsport Speedway. Some big events in 2020 here at the port.
Yeah, and tickets for all of those events are available online, weedsportspeedway.com. You can get camping for those events as well. Really easy to find tickets on the Weedsport Speedway website. There's the tickets tab at the top right-hand corner. You can get tickets for every single event you can imagine. Of course, we start out May 25th on that Memorial Day with the Super Dirt Car Series Heroes Remembered 100. You'll see Chris Heil right here in action. And then it's sort of a sprint car stretch there, Shane, in the month of June with the USAC Sprints returning on June 7th and the All-Star Circuit of Champions on June 7th. and the USAC Sprinters on June 14th.
That's right. And then when we get into the month of July, the New York State Short Track Nationals for the flat track motorcycles will be back in 2020. Always a big weekend for us here as well. The Hall of Fame 100 on July 26th, the Empire State Challenge with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. And the one that I'm really looking forward to, that Cavalcade Cup 100 weekend coming up in September.
Yeah, Big Block Modifieds, 2 days of action, the Super Dirt Car Series on September 12th, but then you sprinkle in some ESS sprint cars, some Rush late models. Literally everything will be at Weedsport for that 2 days of racing.
And let's give a little love to the Short Port,
Yeah.
the Cartway. We've got some great races over there too.
Yeah, we start Memorial Day weekend there as well. It'll be on the Sunday, so I think that's May 24th, and we come back for a show in July, show in August, and then, of course, we have our big Oktoberfest special on October 17th and 18th. We're going to be having memberships available on the website here soon, so it's almost the Motorsports Expo in March. All the information will be out and ready to go for everybody then. So the racing season is literally on the doorstep.
We are just cracking the tip of the iceberg for 2020. Our next off-track TV show is coming up on Facebook Live. Oh, jackpot! You know what that means? That we are out of time, ladies and gentlemen. Our next show is Wednesday, February 26th, right here on Facebook Live. Dan, always a pleasure. Look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
And look forward to all the great racing action that's coming up here in just the next couple of months.
Hit him straight down there, Shane.
I'm going to do my best. For Dan Kapazinski, for our guest tonight, Chris Heil, my name is the voice Shane Andrews saying thank you for joining us, and we'll see you right here on February 26th on Off Track TV Live.